She was a queen, a strategist, a seductress, and a survivor. Cleopatra VII, Thea Philopator, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, has fascinated historians for over 2 millennia. But behind the legend is a story far more complex, of power, politics, betrayal, and a struggle to keep a dying empire alive. Welcome to Dead Men Told Tales, where history lives and breathes. Today, we're diving deep into the life and death of one of the most iconic figures of the ancient world, Cleopatra VII. Stick around, because the truth is far more fascinating than the myth. Cleopatra VII, the rise, reign, and tragic fall of Egypt's last pharaoh. Cleopatra was born in 69 BCE in Alexandria, Egypt, into the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek royal family that had ruled Egypt since the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BCE. Though Egyptian by title, Cleopatra was Macedonian Greek by blood. Her full name, Cleopatra Thea Philopator, means Cleopatra, the goddess, beloved of her father. And her father was Ptolemy XII Auletes, a controversial and unpopular ruler often seen as a puppet of Rome. When Ptolemy XII died in 51 BCE, Cleopatra, then only 18 years old, ascended to the throne alongside her 10-year-old brother Ptolemy XIII, whom she would marry in accordance with Egyptian custom. But it didn't take long for power struggles to begin. Unlike many of her predecessors, Cleopatra embraced Egyptian culture. She was the first Ptolemaic ruler in 300 years to speak the Egyptian language. She also knew Greek, Latin, and several other tongues. A linguist, a scholar, and a political animal. Conflict erupted between Cleopatra and her brother's advisors. By 48 BCE, she had been exiled from Alexandria. But fate intervened in the form of Julius Caesar. Caesar arrived in pursuit of his rival, Pompey the Great, only to discover that Ptolemy XIII had already murdered him. This act of betrayal shocked Caesar, who decided to stay in Alexandria to mediate the royal dispute. Cleopatra, ever the strategist, smuggled herself into the palace, famously rolled up in a rug or sack, depending on the account, to meet Caesar face to face. Whether it was love, charm, or political acumen, Cleopatra won Caesar's support. Together, they defeated Ptolemy XIII's forces in the Alexandrian War. Ptolemy drowned in the Nile while trying to escape. Cleopatra was restored to the throne, now co-ruling with her even younger brother, Ptolemy XIV, but effectively in control. She also gave birth to Caesar's son, Caesarion, though Caesar never officially acknowledged him. Cleopatra visited Rome in 46 BCE as Caesar's guest, even living in his villa. But when Caesar was assassinated on the Ides of March, 44 BCE, everything changed. She quickly returned to Egypt and had Ptolemy XIV killed, placing her son, Caesarion, as co-regent. In 41 BCE, Cleopatra was summoned by Mark Antony, Caesar's former ally, now one of the 3 rulers of the Roman Republic. Their meeting in Tarsus was legendary. Cleopatra arrived dressed as the goddess Isis in a golden barge. Antony, enchanted, followed her to Alexandria. Their political and romantic alliance blossomed, and Cleopatra bore him 3 children: Alexander Helios, Cleopatra Selene, and Ptolemy Philadelphus. But back in Rome, Octavian, Caesar's adopted son and Antony's rival, viewed Cleopatra as a dangerous foreign queen manipulating Roman affairs. Tensions escalated. In 32 BCE, war was declared. The following year, at the Battle of Actium, Antony and Cleopatra's forces were decisively defeated by Octavian's fleet. The couple retreated to Alexandria, their power and options rapidly diminishing. As Octavian's forces approached, Antony, believing Cleopatra dead, fell on his sword. Mortally wounded, he was brought to Cleopatra, where he died in her arms. a scene immortalized in art and literature for many years to follow. Cleopatra, now facing capture and humiliation in Octavian's Roman triumph, took her own life. Traditionally said to be by asp bite, though poison or a sharp implement may have been used. She died on August 12, 30 BCE, at the age of 39. Cleopatra's death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the beginning of Roman Egypt. Her son Caesarion was captured and killed on Octavian's orders. Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire, but Cleopatra's legacy has endured. She has been depicted as a goddess, a temptress, a patriot, and a villain. Ancient Roman propaganda painted her as a scheming seductress, but modern historians are re-examining her as a skilled ruler and brilliant political mind. She ruled for 21 years through cunning, intellect, and determination in a world dominated by men and empires. And though she lost in the end, she remains unforgettable. Cleopatra's story is not just one of romance and tragedy, but of leadership, legacy, and resistance. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt, and perhaps its most legendary. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Cleopatra's world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more captivating stories from history.